A huge sinkhole tonight in the National Corvette Museum in Bowling Green. This amazing sight is in part of the museum's iconic domed section. We're looking at video taken when the museum sent a drone helicopter down into the hole to get a closer look. And from this, you can see those fabulous cars covered in dirt and rubble.
What a sight that is. Thankfully, no one was inside the Corvette Museum at that early hour when this happened. It occurred in a matter of minutes early this morning when that sinkhole just opened up, swallowing 8 prized cars. Look at that, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can see the cars falling into the hole in the surveillance video released from the museum. Thanks for joining us today. Busy day. I'm Shannon Cogan.
And I'm Scott Reynolds. The collapse triggered an alarm to the fire department, actually. Wave 3 News reporter Scott Adkins is in Bowling Green tonight, beginning our live team coverage. Scott, one recently sold a 67 for over $3 million. Many of these cars are worth into the six figures, $400,000 or more.
It's kind of hard to wrap your mind around just how much these cars are worth and were worth. That monetary value and the emotional value is what hurts the most. Geologists say that sinkholes aren't rare in this part of the country, but those cars sure are, and they're now in the middle of a sinkhole in that yellow dome behind me. Surveillance captures the moment historic Corvettes become camouflaged in rubble. One dangling like a car on a cliffhanger. The vets should be on display for families to see. Instead, 8 may be history.
And we've overcome adversity before, and we will certainly overcome this.
The sinkhole opened up 5:45 Wednesday morning, gobbling up some of the coolest and fastest cars to come off nearby GM's assembly line. Motion sensors alerted a security company hired by the museum that something wasn't right. 2 were loaned by General Motors. 6 of the cars were donated to the museum from collectors like Chance Mayfield. Mayfield's vet was among those on display in the Sky Dome Rotunda.
The lady just said it was safe, and they had moved it to a safer location.
It all happened underneath the towering dome that encased the Corvettes. No one was inside the building when the floor came crumbling inward. Although what hurts the most is the unknown.
Not real certain that we can say how that impacts monetary value, but certainly impacts the emotional value.
The sinkhole is about 45 feet wide and 25 feet deep. Just imagine half the size of U of L's basketball court. It's within feet of our camera crew just beyond my shoulder over here, inside the Sky Dome, where historic priceless Corvettes are on display for the public to see.
Had no idea that it would be a sinkhole up here. But it's a survivor. It survived the sinkhole and survived being stolen.
Among the vets beneath the concrete, a 1984 custom pace car from the IndyCar World Series, the 1 millionth Corvette and the 1.5 millionth Corvette ever built in the U.S. Extremely rare vehicles here, museum quality inside the National Corvette Museum. Only fitting that this much heartache goes into a sinkhole that has now swallowed so many. Let's bring in Wave 3 News reporter Natalia Martinez now. And Natalia, a long day for the crews here as they continue finding out what's next to reopen the museum.
Absolutely, Scott. The updates just keep coming. I just spoke to the executive director here, and he's putting the monetary figure for the cars at the bottom of that sinkhole at more than $1 million. Now, he did tell me that they do have sinkhole insurance both for the dome and for the cars. He said that they had to have sinkhole insurance because it's well known that this area is prone to such activities. Now, I was inside the dome while crews were taking the Corvettes that were not swallowed out of there. It took about 10 people to steer the cars safely away from the hole in tight quarters, and there are cracks in the concrete that were discovered while I was inside. Structural engineers have been here since early this morning to see if the rest of the building is safe.
But it appears to be migrating away from the building, not towards the main part of the building, so it appears to be migrating towards the outside of the building at this point. It appears reasonably stable. We might see a little bit more falling in over time, but right now it's just difficult to tell.
Well, the dome is attached to the rest of the museum through a hallway. Crews told me that they're going to put up a plywood wall so that nobody gets close to where the sinkhole area is, because they do plan on opening the museum back up tomorrow morning. Reporting in Bowling Green, Natalia Martinez, and Scott Atkins for Wave 3 News.
Wow, an extra attraction for visitors to the
Yeah,
museum, but
really.
one they didn't want to have. If you want to check out all the video from the museum, just go to our website.
We have it all there for you. So now the question, how could something like this happen? Wave 3 meteorologist Brian Good has been looking into this. He joins us with an answer. Brian?
Yeah, a lot of people are concerned when they see images like this. Certainly, we've seen a lot in Florida. We checked in with Western Kentucky University geology professor about this issue. Is there a reason to be concerned about sinkholes in Kentucky? Here's what he had to say.
There's no need for panic or any indication that there's any other causes or issues that are going to be immediate threats with sinkholes. I mean, they're common features in the landscape. You can't predict them, but they do occur, and everybody in Warren County, Bowling Green City is well versed in these. And again, it's just something that happened to be in a place that is getting a lot more attention because obviously it's in the Corvette Museum.
Now, what's interesting about that is when I lived there 12 years ago, another sinkhole hit Bowling Green. It swallowed traffic actually during rush hour. This image along Dishman Lane in Bowling Green back on February 25th, 2002. How sinkholes form? Basically, our limestones, what we have across Kentucky. Anytime the limestone opens up, it forms a cave underneath the ground. It doesn't take long to find a little bit of an opening, and there you go. The soil sinks inside the little opening, and the sinkhole begins to develop. It's more common across central and southern Kentucky than it is here across Louisville and eastern Kentucky, but they do happen, but they're not nothing that happens on a daily basis, and thank goodness for that, guys.